The Battle of Ohio's got a little added zest today. We know about this in-state rivalry. They're so close together. The Bengals lead this series in the 83rd meeting. And you see the Browns have not had that stability at quarterback. But the last time these two teams met in December with winning records, a lot on the line, 28 years ago to the day. So it's big. And oh, yeah, you got number 2 starting for the Browns. I don't know, you may have heard about Johnny Manziel once or twice.
This is big. And, you know, we brought that up to Marvin Lewis, the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, that this is great. This rivalry finally means something. He said, great for who? Because Cleveland's been down for a long time. They're still in the hunt on the outside looking in, and that builds to the excitement here today.
Meanwhile, the Browns won the toss. They have decided to defer. We were on the pregame show with the guys talking about the buzz around town. It is a noticeable difference beginning of the game this week to last week because we were here last week.
It's very palpable. You can feel it inside the stadium. And here we go.
As the Browns will kick things off, Spencer Lanning, the punter, does the kickoff duties. And Brandon Tate is back deep to receive from Cleveland. And here we go. Tate's going to take it on out. And that hole closed rather quickly. Stopped shy of the 20 by Sean Drawn. The Bengals will take the field first with their offense. And Andy Dalton in his 4th year. And ever since the Bengals were stymied by the Browns, his last 4 games have been terrific.
Well, Andy Dalton is a lot like their team. You can watch him at times and he looks like an all-pro quarterback. At other times, you start saying, what's he doing out there? And that was the case last time they met against the Cleveland Browns, where his passer rating was 2.
Bengals have a couple of big injuries today. Jermaine Gresham, their tight end, who's got 50 catches, is out of the lineup with a toe. That's a big loss. Jeremy Hill starts off the game in the eye, and he'll get the ball up the middle, and not for much, maybe 2.
Kevin, when you look at the impact players for the Cincinnati offense, it starts with Jeremy Hill, the running back. He's going to be the workhorse today. Hugh Jackson decided to go with 1 back as opposed to the 2-back system that they've been employing. A.J. Green, a big-time receiver, 11 receptions, 224 yards last week versus the Steelers. You get that run game going, the play action comes alive with A.J. Green.
There's Hill. He and Giovanni Bernard have basically split carries this season, but Marvin Lewis saying this week Hill is our number 1. Who expect him to get between 15 and 20 carries. On a 2nd and 7, he gets it again. Tries to bounce to the outside, breaks 2 tackles, and a good run by Hill. He's up near the 1st down marker, and he may have it.
You see Jeremy Hill, one of the reasons they want to get him more carries. He's a big back. They feel like he can trust his instincts the more carries he gets. Early in the game, sometimes he can be rather robotic, just run into a spot. They feel as the game wears on, he gets more touches, he gets better.
Actually leads all rookies in rushing coming in with 729 yards. That, by the way, was a 1st down. Give it to Hill once more. Up the middle, patient running, and a good run as Hill bounces it all the way out to the 37, and he picks up 8 yards. Browns defense is probably better than most of you think, and you could see the evidence. Tough to pass against this group.
They really are. They play old school bump and run defense. That means their cornerbacks are up in receivers' faces, getting their hands on them, and they're good enough with the pass rush. They don't have a dominant pass rusher, but they certainly affect opposing quarterbacks in a big way.
Going to run it to Hill again, and Hill's got a 1st down. Marvin Lewis wasn't kidding. He said, we've got to get the run game going. We've got to get Jeremy Hill going, and they've run 4 plays, all of them to Hill.
You watch this lead block by Ryan Hewitt, the fullback / H-back. This is how you run downhill on someone. He puts the hammer on Craig Robertson, and Jeremy Hill looking good early. This was important for the Bengals to establish this run game. They've done a nice job.
Now Giovanni Bernard checks in at running back for the 1st time, number 25 on a 1st and 10. Good start for the Bengals. Dalton has time. They're going to set up the screen to Bernard, and what a tackle! Man, he had nowhere to go. Chris Kirksey came out of nowhere and brought him down.
And that's exactly how you attack a screen play. Kirksey's right here. He sees the screen develop, and once you see it, don't wait. Go get in front of those offensive linemen. Go make the tackle. It's exactly what Kirksey does. These Browns are really solid open field tacklers, something they do very well as a defense.
Hill back in there on a 2nd and 13. And they fake the run this time. They're going to hit A.J. Green. Green cutting across the field, and screen coming over to shove him out of bounds. He's out at about the 46. It's a gain of 7 and a 3rd down coming up.
Really nice play by Screen, because it looked like they had something there, but his speed just won out. You see Screen's going to come into your picture on the other side. Looks like they have something, but that's what you can do when you run a 4-2.
And why do they motion him here? Interesting point. Mike Pettin, in meeting with us yesterday, John, the head coach of the Browns, said, big matchup today, A.J. Green against Joe Hayden. I don't know that I've ever heard a head coach say the big matchup is the wide receiver. But Hayden against Green, one to watch. 3rd and 6. Blitz coming. Dalton is crushed out of bounds, and a flag coming. That is going to go against Cleveland for sure. Barkevious Mingo just hammered Andy Dalton.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 51, defense. High hit to the quarterback, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Barkevious Mingo comes free on a blitz and just unloads on Andy Dalton. And that, by the letter of the law, is a good call by Walt Anderson. Now, it's important to note coming in, nobody calls more of that specific penalty than Walt Anderson. He leads the league in that call. And so how that's going to play out with running quarterback on the other side, they thought it would favor the Bengals, but now the Bengals the beneficiary of it.
It's a good point. And Walt Anderson's crew also has the 2nd most penalties given out in the league overall. Dalton with time coming near side is Green with a nice little move. And Green is going to get down to the 32. Kirksey on the tackle with a gain of 6. Well, I told you about Gresham being out. Terrence Newman, their starting cornerback, is out too with an ankle. Dancy's been out for a while for Cleveland. Gibson, their good young free safety, has also been out for a while. And K'Wan Williams, their slot corner, it's a big loss that he's not in there today. This is Bernard. Gets a block, but can't go anywhere else. Browns played it well. Mingo started it up. Blowing that play up in the backfield.
Barkevious Mingo, Kevin, he doesn't show up a whole lot on the stat sheet, but watching these guys for the last month, he's been phenomenal. Watch Mingo at the top. This is setting the edge, playing off the block, and then staying alive to make the tackle. Barkevious Mingo has had a huge impact on this Cleveland defense of late.
9th play of the drive for Cincinnati. 3rd down has been a big struggle for Andy Dalton. They need to get to the 29. Dalton looking far side Green, and he is matched up against Hayden. He wanted a call, there was none. And now it looks like a long field goal try for Marvin Lewis.
Well, there's that matchup, Kevin, you alluded to. Mike Pettin went as far to say this will go a long way in deciding the outcome of this game, who wins that matchup. Joe Hayden has had a lot of success against A.J. Green of late, and he does here early today.
And now the Bengals change their minds. They're going to go. This is right on the kind of borderline of Mike Nugent's field goal range, and they'll go on 4th down and 4. Blitz coming. It's picked up. Dalton's going to hit Green, who makes the catch for a first down. So they go back to that matchup, and Green wins it that time.
You know, and this is really an interesting matchup, because if you ask the Bengals, Joe Hayden's the best corner in football. But they feel like they have the best receiver in football in A.J. Green. So they're going to go right after Joe Hayden. Contested throws and contested catches is what Andy Dalton talked about. We're going to have to win these one-on-ones. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be contested catches. There's a great example.
A 10-yard gain on 4th and 4, and this is a nice drive for Cincinnati. 11th play, the opening drive coming up here. They go back to Jeremy Hill. He pushes his way inside the 20. Well, you talked about Walt Anderson and some of the penalties this crew calls. The other interesting thing, I think, John, is they also call the most illegal use of hands penalties, and we saw all the hand fighting on that play with that matchup.
Yeah, there's this team, and I give credit to them, and I think it's what you have to do to play great defense in today's football. Everything's set up for the offense. The best advantage you have on the defense, get your hands on them early.
In case you're wondering, Johnny Manziel still in the stadium. Just wanted to show you. 2nd and 7. Dalton going to loft it for Green in the end zone, and a good job by Hayden, who shut that one off early in the route. One drive, you can already see it's going to be fun to watch those two all day.
Really interesting in talking to both of them. A.J. Green said, I've got to stay low. He's 6 feet 4 inches. Well, that gives his chest to Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden said, look, last week I had T.Y. Hilton. I actually prefer playing against a player like A.J. Green because he's got more surface to put my hands on.
We showed you Dalton's struggles on 3rd down. The Browns are the 4th best defensive team on 3rd down in the NFL. 3rd and 7. Because slinging out to Bernard. Can he get to the sticks? He does. And a first down to Giovanni Bernard and a late flag. So maybe Bernard not as involved running the ball, but something he was great at, receiving the ball.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, horse collar tackle, number 21, defense. After this was for the goal. First down.
And a great job of design by Hugh Jackson. The bunch to the left, I think it's Buster Screen who should have the flat right there. They're in a zone defense. Justin Gilbert, the last one. See the horse collar. His hand is up there. Usually it's a violent tug, but that is the rule.
If you get the downward motion, they'll call it. 1st and goal from the 2. It's Hill up the middle. Touchdown, Cincinnati. What a drive on the opener for the Bengals, who go right down the field to get on the board.
Well, what a great answer to all the excitement surrounded by Johnny Manziel. We're going to come run the football right down your throat. Pecco, the defensive tackle, as the lead fullback. Tremendous opening drive for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Remember, they went for it on that 4th and 4. 10-yard gain to A.J. Green. That was the difference. So Marvin Lewis gutsy on the first drive, and the Bengals put it home for an opening touchdown to take a 7-0 lead. And we'll wait another minute to see Johnny Manziel. For now, it's Jeremy Hill and company in front in Cleveland.
This game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Well, the Bengals just went 14 plays, 81 yards for a touchdown on the opening drive. And when you look what happened the last time they met, they've got half their yards already than they had in that last game.
It was ugly for the Bengals last time they met. Talking to Hugh Jackson, their offensive coordinator, I said, what's most important to win here today? We've got to get our run game established early. They did exactly that.
Nugent kicking it off. Moore's going to take it. And that is not going to work. What that will do is bring Johnny Manziel onto the field, getting the start for Cleveland.
Today's game is sponsored by Stella Artois. She is a thing of beauty.
Well, it's been quick a journey here for Johnny Manziel, the Heisman Trophy winner, the only one as a freshman to ever win it. Taken 22nd overall by the Browns in the draft. And then he was beaten out in camp by Brian Hoyer for the starting job. He sat and waited. Did replace Hoyer in the 4th quarter, led him on an 80-yard touchdown drive and scored on a run. Got in the game 2 weeks ago, and now today, his first NFL start. With this Browns offense, going to look a lot different than what you've seen the last few weeks. They'll start it off in the pistol, give it to Terrence West, who runs to the right side and has himself a nice gain on first down. He's going to pick up about 5 yards. Manziel getting the call today because the Browns offense, it really struggled lately under Hoyer. 5 touchdowns, 10 turnovers in the last 53 possessions. And after you get a game where you score twice on defense and could have beaten the Colts, it was time to make the move.
Yeah, we were here last week, Kevin, and it was clearly both the fans and the veteran players in the corner of Hoyer. Not so much anymore. They feel like they need this spark from Johnny Manziel.
Give it to West again. Good cutback. West butting heads as he's just shy of the 25. West had a good game against the Bengals a month ago. Ran for 94 yards. You would expect they would be run heavy today in Manziel's debut. Bengals defense, which in years past have been known for a pretty good pass rush, hasn't generated much. Just 2 sacks the last 179 attempts.
Putrid would be the word to describe that pass rush.
I could use that. 3rd and 2 for Manziel. Look at the formation. 4 to the right. Pocket collapses. Manziel looking to run, and he is going to be a little shy. Looks like he will be about half yard shy, maybe a yard of the first down, and a 3 and out for the Browns.
And look at this is a tremendous asset of Johnny Manziel's, the ability to improvise. But it doesn't work as well in the NFL as it did even in the SEC in college, because the guys are fast that he's playing against. Reggie Nelson closes down and he gets there before the line to gain. The Bengals making a statement both offensively and defensively early today.
Couldn't have started better for them. Spencer landing a punt. Brandon Tate back to receive. See Adam Pac-Man Jones back there sometimes, but not this time. Good punts. All the way back at the 15. Tate, good move out across the 25. And so a 3 and out for Johnny Manziel. Bengals up 7-0, and they've got the ball in Cleveland. Making me cry during the break, John Lynch. Staff Sergeant Anthony Wagner returning from Afghanistan. His kids on the board crying when they had a video message. Had no idea he was here. And then that.
Yeah, you know, I read an article a while back that this author was saying that they'd had enough of these type of celebrations. Garbage. Nothing better than that. And thank you for your service. And what a wonderful scene here in Cleveland.
That's just awesome. So here are the Bengals, who have started this game as good as you possibly can. With an opening drive, touchdown, and a 3 and out against Johnny Manziel. And they take it over on their own 27-yard line. Hill in the backfield for him. They fake it to Hill. Dalton on the roll, looking for Green, who's got it. And a first down for Cincinnati.
This is interesting. As advertised by the Bengals, all the respect in the world for Joe Hayden, but they were going after him. They made that clear, and A.J. Green doing a great job of exploding through the top of the route. I'm interested to see if he has control of that ball, and it looks like he does. Tremendous catch by A.J. Green. A.J.
Green is a big receiver. 6'4", 207, tremendous speed, 224 yards last week. Has good pursuit by Robertson. Hill looked like he had a lot of room to run, and it was Craig Robertson with the shoestring.
Craig Robertson going to come, going to shoot right through that gap and then chase it down backside. And there's no better way to beat a running game than penetration. Craig Robertson, they have Carlos Dansby coming back, but they got to keep this guy on the field along with Dansby, because he impresses me more each week I watch him.
That interception came against Andy Dalton in their last meeting. Look at this, going to run a little option to Hill, and it's going to work. Big room for Hill. Still going. The cutback, and Hill all the way down to the 37.
Well, Andy Dalton says, hey, Johnny Manziel, I ran a little zone read. I ran a little option at TCU as well. And he flips it out to Jeremy Hill. Tremendous design by Hugh Jackson, and here comes the tempo.
Hurry up. Dalton going to air it out deep, looking for A.J. Green. Hayden almost made a tremendous play. Couldn't hang on.
Well, A.J. Green had him beat to the inside with the outside leverage of Hayden. That ball needed to be thrown towards the inside. Hayden with the ball in his hands, and the ground causes it. And Kevin, you've seen Joe Hayden. He has tremendous hands. He's not one of these DBs that can't catch. In pregame, he puts on a one-hand display.
don't want to steal from Terrell Owens, but I need some popcorn for this matchup. I mean, this is fun already, watching those two guys go at it. 2nd and 10. This is Bernard. Good hole for Giovanni Bernard, and a first down for the Bengals, and they are running at will. 66 yards on the ground.
Well, and the nice thing, when you make Jeremy Hill the big back, your feature guy, now you got a little thunder and lightning. The thunder with Jeremy Hill. Here's the lightning, Giovanni Bernard, a quick and fast, diminutive runner. So a great complement to each other. Hill is the lead back, and Bernard as a complementary back.
This is impressive. The Bengals doing what they want on the ground. Hill back in there. Jeremy Hill. We got a game break, checking in with Kurt Menefee.
All right, the Baltimore Ravens off to a quick start. Block punt against Jacksonville. Darian Stewart with the block. Kamar Aiken with the touchdown from 11 yards out. And they were up 7-3 midway through the first quarter. Big battle that the AFC North wants to keep an eye on there, Kevin.
Kurt, thanks. Here it's 7-0 Bengals, and they're on the move. 7th play of this drive. They got a 2nd and 5 on the 18. Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator for these Bengals, former coach of the Raiders. Dalton, a lot of time. Going to air it out deep for Sanu, and he overthrew him. Sanu made a move and got open, but Dalton led him too far. Mohamed Sanu has really developed into his own this year. You know, Marvin Jones was electric playmaker, 10 touchdowns for him last year, out all year. And Sanu, Andy Dalton said he never had a chance to really shine because he didn't have this role, but he's been awesome.
You know what, Kevin? As well as he catches it, he throws it even better.
He does.
5 for 5 in his career as a quarterback. They use him in a multitude of ways throwing the football. A lot of trick plays from Hugh Jackson and the Bengals.
And a 3rd down and 5. Blitz picked up. Now someone gets free and Dalton goes down. Desmond Bryant gets the sack.
Well, Desmond Bryant likes playing against Andy Dalton and the Bengals because last time they faced off, he had 2 sacks. The pressure's going to come right up the middle. There he is. Here he comes after Andy Dalton, and he finishes it. Nice play by Desmond Bryant.
Yeah, they picked up the blitzer, but forgot about Bryant, who has the sack. This will be a 44-yard field goal for Mike Nugent. 10th year already out of Ohio State. And he's got it, and it's a 10-0 Cincinnati lead. 2 drives by the Bengals, looking good so far, up by 10.
Today's game is sponsored by Pizza Hut. We're taking pizza where it's never been before.
Bengals offense is clicking. Really, everything's clicking. I mean, they've run 22 plays, and the Browns have run just 3.
Great mix. You got to love the plan by Hugh Jackson. A little trickeration, establishing the run, play action off that run. Really looking good for this Bengals offense.
And 71 yards on the ground for Cincinnati in this first quarter. It's the most first quarter rushing yards they've had in 5 years. I'd say it's working. Taylor Gabriel back to return this kick. He had a nice effort last week. Sprinting out, looking for a seam. And a good return. Gets out past the 23. And that's where Johnny Manziel will take the field for his 2nd drive. Manziel wearing number 2, drafted number 22. He's 22 years old. His 2nd drive, all 2s next. The legendary Jim Brown on hand. Last time the Browns won a championship, it was 50 years ago. Running behind that man, the Hall of Famer. And he had a quote today, John. I believe it was the Akron newspaper about Manziel. Brown said, "I'm excited. I don't even like excited." Which was perfect. So here's Manziel looking to throw far side. He's got a completion to his tight end. It's Jordan Cameron. And Cameron's going to be out to the 32. So Manziel looks for his first down. Give him 4 on that. Interesting, these 2 teams last time they met, a lot of these guys weren't playing. Obviously Manziel wasn't. Gordon was suspended. Cameron was hurt. Hawkins playing against his former team for the first time. So there's all these new pieces second time around.
Yeah, it really is. And it's nice to have Pro Bowl players like Jordan Cameron and Josh Gordon. It's just getting them back and in rhythm with this offense. It's been a struggle for Brian Hoyer. We'll see if Johnny Manziel fares any better with it.
Out of his pistol, Manziel keeper, and Manziel is buried. Wallace Gilberry And there's your first cash sign with the big play against Manziel.
Well, the zone read, Wallace Geltberry, that's who Manziel's supposed to be reading. He did a great job of just attacking. He attacked both the runner and then had the instinct to come up on Manziel. And Johnny Manziel learning really quick that these guys can really run at this level.
And a 3rd and 13. Blitz coming. Manziel steps up, throws it on the run, and Hawkins has it for a first down. No, he dropped it. Hawkins had it, but Reggie Nelson came over to deliver the hit.
We're plain and simple, a ball that Hawkins has to catch. But what a play by Reggie Nelson. Reggie Nelson, good job by Manziel improvising, but watch this hit. Attacking the ball, clean legal hit, and gets the ball out, but a catch that Hawkins must make for Johnny Manziel, his quarterback.
And that was a cool shot. You see his eyes looking at the first read downfield, then going over to Hawkins. And 2 3-and-outs for the Browns. That one should have been a first. This is Brandon Tate. Good return his first time. Good return his second time. We get a flag on the far sideline. Tate still going, and now shoved out of bounds. And there is a flag over on the Browns sideline. So this may be coming all the way back. See what the flag is from Walt Anderson, our referee. Discussion on the far side. If it somehow stands, 51-yard punt and a 30-yard return for Tate, who's done a nice job so far back there. I don't think this game could start any better for the Bengals. And the thing is, you know, we wait on the call, John. You know, so many times we've seen more and more in recent years rookies starting week 1. You know, used to be you had to wait a couple years to play. Well, Manziel has waited to this point. I think it's pretty rare to have a guy making his NFL starter quarterback in a December playoff race. You know, and now all of a sudden you're down 10.
Yeah, you know, and here we get ready to listen to Walt Anderson and his call. But, you know, I think one of the things they felt last week it would have been too much.
During the kick, number 24, the kicking team, went out of bounds on his own. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run, first down.
So that's on Johnson Batamosi, one of the real good players. And the Bengals, that means, will start in tremendous field position. They're going to start it out. Let's see where they mark this off at the Cleveland 36. It looks like. Well, what a start! Up 10-0, and now a first down at the Browns 36, and they really got to make a stand here. Manziel making his first start. He'll afford to be down 17-zip as we have the final 8 seconds of this first quarter. Fake to Hill. Dalton, a lot of time. Decides to roll out, and we get a flag, and it's incomplete. Now another flag from the secondary. Not sure why Dalton moved there. He had a good pocket.
Well, we may have offsetting because it looks like we're going to have offensive holding and then defensive holding, and we're going to do this whole thing all over again.
There are fouls by both teams. Holding number 22, defense, and holding number 61 of the offense. Those fouls will all set. We'll replay first down.
And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Bengals up 10-0 on Johnny Manziel and the Browns.
This is the end of the first quarter.
Total domination by the Bengals here in Cleveland as we start the second quarter in Cincinnati in good field position as they begin on the 36 of Cleveland. The offsetting penalties ended the first quarter. Here's Hill. He's got 57 yards rushing already, looking to get to the edge, and does just that. Whitner's going to force him out, but Hill picks up 6 on first down.
And you watch Jeremy Hill run, and you start to understand why Hugh Jackson, as good as Giovanni Bernard is as a player and as great a rookie season as he had, while he's going to this guy as their workhorse, he's a big back that can run, he can catch it, and he's a guy that can wear on a defense. With more carries, he gets better. I like the looks of this young rookie running back for the Cincinnati Bengals.
He does have 2 150-yard rushing games this year, so certainly the ability is there. 2nd and 4. Pressure from Kruger. Dalton unloads it, but that is nowhere near Mohamed Sanu. There's been a couple times that he's looked for Sanu deep and hasn't been close. And a 3rd down.
That last play with Paul Kruger close enough and getting his hand in Andy Dalton's face. Now Kruger has 9 sacks, the most on the Browns, but that's what you see a lot. Middle of the pack in terms of sacks, but they're always right around the quarterback affecting him.
I don't want to overstate this. It's the 2nd quarter, John, but I think this is a must-stop for Cleveland.
It's big. It's big. Rookie quarterback, first start. You don't want to get behind 17-0. You don't want to get behind 13-0.
Third and 4. They're going to give to Hill on the draw. He's got the first and then some. Hill all the way down to the 21. They mark it at the 22. It's a 1st down.
Well, you watch this. What a job by Hugh Jackson. You're going to get a double puller. Both the guard and tackle going to lead the way for Jeremy Hill. You see the push on the other side. Impressive display of just winning the line of scrimmage by the Cincinnati Bengals thus far.
From the 22, why not go to the well again? And he tries to get around and does. Hill is having a monster first half. That's already his 12th carry for 77 yards.
And he's beating them inside and outside. We hear so often about setting the edge. Well, the big part about setting the edge, you got to put an edge on it. Right now, they are not putting an edge on it, and he's outflanking them to perimeter for 5-6 yard gains.
And the Bengals nearly have as many yards as they did the entire game against Cleveland the last time around. 2nd and 5. Hill again, right through. Stiff arm. Jeremy Hill. Touchdown. $16 yards for Jeremy Hill, his 2nd of the day, and Cleveland is reeling.
You just see the line of scrimmage be controlled, and watch Ryan Hewitt. He's been fantastic today. The lead blocker, he's going to make the seal, and then Jeremy Hill says, "Get off me, Jim Leonard." Uses the stiff arm right into the end zone. Total domination by this Bengals offense in the running game.
So a 5-play, 36-yard drive. I mean, this is unbelievable. They've got more rush yards than they had. They've almost got as many yards as they had a month ago when the Browns skunked the Bengals in Cincinnati. But this has been completely different. 17-0. The only thing Jeremy Hill has done wrong today is at the very end. He's thinking, I'm going to jump into the dog pound. I mean, what are you thinking, man?
He got rejected.
Today's game is sponsored by Ford. Beautiful things happen when you go further.
Oh, this is not what you want to see if you're a Browns fan. We didn't see Joe Hayden get hurt, but walking back to the locker room, and that's bad because he's on A.J. Green. Bengals haven't even needed a passing game because their run game has been crushing people, and Jeremy Hill getting the start. Marvin Lewis said he is going to be the #1 back, no more split. Well, it's worked, John. 13 carries, 93 yards. We're in the 2nd quarter. The Browns need to wake up and wake up fast. Travis Benjamin, 3rd different returner for Cleveland. Spin move, and he is buried. Browns keep taking it out of the end zone, and it's not working. Saturday, the UFC returns to Fox Sports 1. All-time great Lyoto Machida battles CB Dalloway and more. Action begins 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
I tell you, I watched that heavyweight bout on Fox last night. Junior Dos Santos against Stipe Miocic. Little known fact, Jay Glazer told me this morning, Stipe played 3rd base for Cleveland State. Now he's a heavyweight UFC fighter.
You've just been waiting to say Stipe Miocic the whole time, haven't you? I've been saying it for a
trying not to.
So here are the Browns in trouble with Manziel under center. Going to throw. Pressure. In trouble. Going to sidearm it to Cameron. That's going to work. For big yards to the tight end Cameron is out near 1st down. And we get a flag. And I believe this one's on Cleveland.
An eligible player, number 62 of the offense, was downfield prior to the pass. 5-yard penalty.
Now the center, Ryan Seymour, that's who they call downfield. Looks like it's a screen. And there he goes. I don't know. That's questionable. Usually they give a little leeway. The ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage. It's a questionable call to me.
So even the two positives that Cleveland has had, the 1 3rd down nice throw to Hawkins that he dropped, and now the Kent to Colby delivery to the tight end, and they're going backwards. On 1st and 15. And they rush it to Crowell and get up near the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard shy. Ray Malaluga is there for the Cincinnati defense that has been, well, they were shredded last week in the 4th quarter against the Steelers. I mean, they got torn apart in that game, outscored 25-0, but they're obviously stepping up today. 2nd and 11.
What is up? Happy over. Happy over. Let's do it.
Plenty of time on the clock. Again, a blitz. Picked up. Manziel's going to sling it high. Gordon, one hand, can't make the catch. And a flag on the far side of the field at the 22. Initial indication.
Illegal use of hands, number 29, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's on Leon Hall. At this point, John, the Browns will take anything.
That's right. You know, the illegal use of the hands on Leon Hall, but more importantly, a high throw by Johnny Manziel. He had Josh Gordon. Here's the penalty. Hands to the face right there. Point of emphasis this year. But look at the high throw. And let me tell you something. Reggie Nelson making his presence known here today. He's been all over the field thus far.
Well, took a penalty, but the Browns will take their first down. Up on the 18. Crowell up the middle. Short gain. Game break. Let's check in with Kurt.
Kevin, you mentioned Pittsburgh pouring it on Cincy last week in the 4th. They're turning it on in Atlanta early. William Gay picks off Matt Ryan, returns with 52 yards for a score. Gay has 3 interceptions this season. All 3 returned for touchdowns. It's 13-0 right now. Kevin, John, and Pam.
Wow. Didn't know that.
Ryder! Shaggy! Ryder! Shaggy Ryder!
It's a 2nd and 8. Manziel's going to keep. Back to throw. Looking, and it's going to be intercepted. It's intercepted by Dre Kirkpatrick. And this is a first-half disaster for the Browns.
Well, Manziel is learning a couple things. First of all, these defensive linemen run really fast. Second of all, you cannot throw late in this league. That ball is a tad late. That gives a guy like Dre Kirkpatrick enough time to close on a ball that was floated out to Hawkins. You do that in this league, it's going the other way. You see that ball should be thrown right now. Instead, he holds on to it, gives Dre Kirkpatrick the time to go track that ball down. Disastrous start for Johnny Manziel.
Well,
and the Cleveland Browns.
Sorry, John. We came on obviously talking about Johnny Manziel and his starting debut in a big game playoff-wise for both these teams. And we're not even close to halftime. And this is about to be a blowout. I mean, this is the way the Bengals are playing. It's a complete 180 from how they were a month ago against the Browns. Why not give it to Jeremy Hill, who's approaching 100 yards. And he's going to pick up 3 on first down. This puts him at 96 yards in the first half.
And thus far, you know, it's not just Andy Dalton playing better than Johnny Manziel. It's the Cincinnati Bengals just flat out winning the physical battle. The physicality that they're playing with established a tone in this game. They're dominating both line of scrimmages and really just taking it to the Cleveland Browns.
Dalton pressure, throws while being hit, and screen didn't turn around, otherwise he could have had a pick. Meanwhile, let's go down the field, check in with Pam Oliver.
Well, Kevin, you notice it was 22. It wasn't Joe Hayden on A.J. Green. He's back in the locker room. He's been playing lights out, hasn't he, that Hayden? But they're dealing with a shoulder injury for him. He's back there getting evaluated. They don't know if he's coming back. They're officially listing him as questionable. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Pam. That's big. So screen Gilbert in. at the cornerback position. They also bring on Poyer as an extra safety to fill that nickel role. 3rd and 7. Dalton, a lot of time, and now pressure coming from behind with Paul Kruger. Breaks away, gets it to Hill. Hill, shimmy, shakes, diving forward, fumbled, and he's going to be shy of a first down. It was a crazy play, but Billy Wynn made sure that Hill did not pick up the first.
I'll tell you what, Andy Dalton showing off his improvisational skills all over the field and doing a really, really nice job keeping his eyes downfield, locating Jeremy Hill, keeping the play alive, eluding the sack from Kruger, finding Hill, and Hill gets down. Hill right there, I think he's got a first down. Instead, he tries to go outside.
So Mike Nugent has one 44-yard field goal today, and this will be another 44-yard try. Nugent is good, and so the Bengals up 20-0. They capitalize with a Manziel interception by Kirkpatrick. Marvin Lewis, a happy guy. All Cincy. All Bengals, 152 yards to 12, 30 plays to 9. Any way you slice it, it's been utter domination. Johnny Manziel with his head down. Certainly not all his fault, but he hasn't done much in his starting debut. These first-place Bengals, who can be Jekyll and Hyde sometimes, but today they're going on all forces go. This is Sean Drawn. Browns have tried everybody on the roster on kick returns, and no one's worked. Drawn gets cut up before the 20. Hey, Saturday, an old rivalry gets renewed as Raheem Christmas and Syracuse bring the fight back to the Big East when they face Javon Pinkston and the 7th-ranked Villanova Wildcats. Coverage begins Saturday at 12:30 Eastern on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. I welcome you into the booth with John. I'm Kevin, and I don't think you can script it worse if you're Johnny Manziel and the Browns. They haven't done much, and where do you go from here?
Well, I think you got to stick with your game plan. They need to stay on the field a little bit. They're 0 of 2 on 3rd down conversions, the interception, so they haven't been on the field enough. I think one thing's clear. Cincinnati got tired of hearing about Johnny Manziel and said, hey, we're 8-4-1. We're on top of this division. We're going to come and play, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're dominating the Cleveland Browns.
Big game for both, too, as here's Gordon getting involved with the catch, and he is swarmed. Carlos Dunlap, I mean, they are everywhere all over this Cleveland playbook, excuse me. But, you know, the other thing is for Cleveland, John, is they've got to win this game. If they lose this game, they're pretty much done in the playoff race. Not official, but close to it.
And we've seen those highlights coming in from Kurt in L.A. Both Pittsburgh and Baltimore winning. Cincinnati came in with a half-game lead on both Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Been in 2nd and long already a couple of times today. 2nd and 13. West bobbled, recovers, and good hard run. Stop shy of the 24. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
And Kevin, this down, 3rd down for the for the Cleveland Browns has been a big problem with Brian Hoyer. I mean, they have been bad on 3rd down. 31st, 2nd worst team in the league. They're hoping that Johnny Manziel can help them in this avenue.
It's only a 4-man rush, 3rd and 5. Spinning around, throwing on the run. High for Jim Dre and incomplete.
Well, he did a nice job of doing his best Russell Wilson impersonation until the throw. You've got to throw the football accurately in this league. He looks downfield, nothing there. He keeps it alive, eyes downfield, everything good except the accuracy on the throw. You have to be able to throw the football accurately to have success at the quarterback position in this league.
Only first down Cleveland has is via a penalty. They have done 0 on offense, and they'll punt it again. Short punt. Tate's going to let it bounce now right to him. And he has nowhere to go. Bengals take over up 20-0 on the Browns, and Manziel here in the 2nd.
Today's game is sponsored by Beats by Dr. Dre Solo 2. Show us your solo.
Here are the AFC North standings. The Bengals 8-4-1. Remember, they've made the playoffs 3 straight seasons now and looking to keep going, but it's such a tight division. Pittsburgh's winning in Atlanta. Baltimore was winning, but Jacksonville just took the lead. And you see the Browns, if they lose today, they're in deep, deep trouble. Bengals have run the ball all day long, but not there. Desmond Bryant came up to make a play.
That's what Cleveland needs to do defensively. They've been dominated. The line of scrimmage is getting pushed back their way. Craig Robertson now makes a nice play in their opposing team, Cincinnati's backfield. Interesting that Cincinnati comes on with Giovanni Bernard on this series when Jeremy Hill's been having so much success.
Hill's got 96 yards. But Dalton in the gun with Bernard, looking to throw a quick hitter. There's Hewitt, who's made a couple great blocks and now has his first reception for a first down. And we've got a game break. Let's check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, Kevin. Pittsburgh sitting at 8-5 right now. They would be in the AFC playoffs, but without Julio Jones, the Falcons fighting back. Matt Ryan to Devin Hester, 17-yard TD catch. They cut that 13-point deficit to 6. 13-7 Steelers. Kevin, John, and Pam.
I didn't realize that Jones was definitely out today. He's only got 448 yards the last 2 games. Another first down for Cincinnati. 13 first downs to Cleveland's 1. Gonna run it. And Bernard to the 45. You surprised what you're seeing here? I mean, this is pretty impressive by Cincinnati against a good defense.
It really is. And, you know, Cincinnati, they talked about they needed to establish the run. It's been a point of emphasis all week, and they've done exactly that. Cleveland's not a team that gets pushed around a lot. They are today. And I think this is where it's huge that Joe Hayden is off, because remember, you lost K'Wan Williams last week. So now you've lost a couple of corners in the last couple of weeks. The way they play up in people's face, that's tough to overcome.
Here's Bernard, who's left side for another Bengal first down. So Hill on the sidelines for this series. And now he's going to come on back in. The Bengals just moving the chains at ease. Already 14 first downs with 6:49 to go in this first half.
You got to give a lot of credit to this offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals, because they are clearly winning that battle. Andrew Whitworth and the group just taking it to the Cleveland Browns.
And the Bengals call their first timeout of the half. Have you heard about the new show Empire? It's coming in January, and it's starring Terrence Howard as the hip-hop mogul Taraji P. Henson as his just out of prison ex-wife. If you love high drama and amazing music, this is the show for you. Empire premieres Wednesday, January 7th on Fox. What do you think Johnny Manziel's thinking right now?
He may be thinking, Brian Hoyer, you want to go back in? Because this isn't going too well right now. But he's a great competitor. I think that's one thing you know about him. Everybody gets introduced to this league and understands that it's a different deal. And that's what he's, I think, grasping right now, that it's a lot tougher here. We'll see a lot of football to be played here today. A lot of football for Johnny Manziel. I'm interested to see how he responds.
Jimmy Haslam, you saw there, brought controlling interest of the Browns in 2012. And a first down for Cincinnati. Dalton to throw. Pressure up the middle. Intercepted by Robertson. That's a play the Browns needed, and Robertson has blocks. Penalties fly. Cutting back. Robertson still going. Look at the run by Robertson. Now backpedaling. Other way, fella. Down at the 35, but there is a flag, so let's see what this is. Boy, the Browns needed something. Let's see if it stands.
I think it's going to be on the return, so the interception should stand. It's on his return that there's a penalty, but Craig Robertson, each and every week, impressing me more, both versus the run and the pass. Incredibly instinctive player.
The ruling on the field is an interception. During the return, personal foul, low block, number 90 of the defense of the intercepting team. The 15-yard penalty will be first down, Cleveland.
Watch Craig Robertson just reading the eyes of Andy Dalton, making a nice break. And there, right there, was the low block by Billy Wynn on the return. You cannot go low to block, but just tremendous play by Robertson. And he's done this the last couple of weeks. Had a similar play versus Andrew Luck last week that he broke up. Really playing at a high level.
He recovered a fumble in the end zone for a touchdown last week. He picked off Andy Dalton when they met a month ago. Guys playing great. Is it the spark that Cleveland needed? They lead the league to the Browns with their 20th interception, but now the offense, which is just 17 yards, takes over on their own 30 with 6:19 to go in the half. Crowell gets the ball. Big hole. Isaiah Crowell up near a first down. First time the home crowd has anything to cheer about since the introductions.
Well, just a giant cutback, and this is what that zone running scheme. Everyone going sideways. You got to be on your P's and Q's. Look at that hole. Crowell sees it and gets downhill. That's what this run game's all about.
Give it to him one more time. He's shy. He did not get anywhere. Bengals defensive line is doing some work today. That was Brandon Thompson, third-year man from Clemson. And a 3rd and a yard coming up.
These 3rd and short situations. Here's an opportunity to use the mobility of Johnny Manziel. Zone read type plays, bootleg type plays, where he can be very effective. 3rd and shorts.
Manziel is 2 of 5 for 1 yard. 2 rushes, -6 yards.
Double point.
3rd and 1. Crowell's got it, and I don't think he got it. He is short of the first down. Will Clark hit him first. You entertain thoughts of going for it here?
I think you have to. And I tell you what, offensive line is pushing the Cleveland Browns defensive line around, and the defensive line of the Bengals living in the backfield of the Cleveland Browns offense. So up front, this game is being won by the Cincinnati Bengals, which doesn't bode well on 4th down. But I think Mike Pettin realizing that if he wants a chance and their playoff hopes are on the line, you got to start being aggressive.
I mean, they're on their own 39 here. Huge play early. 4th and half a yard. Crowell's got it, and he's got a first down. He got just enough. A gutsy call. I'm with you. I think they needed to inject some life into this team, but that could have been curtains if they didn't get it.
I think on normal circumstances, not so. But again, Kevin, this is a 7-6 team on the outside looking into the playoff chase. To stay alive, you have to be a little bold.
And so the first down by Cleveland picked up by their offense. The other one was by a penalty. Crowell cuts back, dives forward, nothing there. You know what's interesting is that there was some talk.
Well, Brandon Thompson right here. This is how you beat the zone running scheme. You get penetration and you stay in their backfield. That way they can't stretch, then cut back. You dictate where the cutback's going to be. Great job by Brandon Thompson.
I'm going to say there was some talk from the Browns after their last game. They almost knew the plays from Cincinnati. It looks like it's almost reversed today. 2nd and 11. Manziel to throw. Knocked down. He was going over the middle for his tight end, Jim Dre, but Ray Malaluga, did he just get flagged for a celebration?
Taunting. He taunted in Johnny Manziel's. And you know, it's interesting because Jay Glazer reported that they were willing to take some of these to let Johnny Manziel. I think that's foolish.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, number 58, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Watch Malaluga. He's going to knock that ball down. He's right there. He knocks it down, but then watch him get up in Johnny Manziel's face. Can't do that in this league. He gives him the money sign. Mike Pettin, he prepared the Cleveland Browns for that, but like I said, I think that's foolish because maybe you just woke a sleeping giant in Johnny Manziel and these Cleveland Browns.
You're dominating the game. Why would you do that? It makes no sense. Circle that play if the Browns happen to score here. Terrence West back in the game on running back, and now movement from the left side with Joe Thomas.
Ball start, number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Some late movement by the Cincinnati defense, and Johnny Manziel was going to audible. Well, Joe Thomas not used to his cadence. Remember, there's a newness factor to having Johnny Manziel in. Brian Hoyer has been their quarterback. Joe Thomas not used to it. Another penalty for the Cleveland Browns.
And so a 1st and 15. Four-man rush over the middle high, and it's intercepted again. It's intercepted again. There's a flag down. It's Maluga, who's still going inside the 25. Let's see what the penalty is, though. Manziel has been high with, I think, every one of his throws. Well, let's see what this penalty is. Far side of the field, right at the line of scrimmage.
All sides, number 95, defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. The 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Well, we told you Walt Anderson and his crew get their money's worth. They're throwing these flags left and right. But again, the Cincinnati Bengals turn away a big play with a foolish penalty, lining up in the neutral zone. There it is. From that perspective, hard to tell. And you see, again, the high throw. But these receivers, they got to understand with Johnny Manziel's first start, these balls are catchable. Remember the earlier one by Hawkins? That's a little high, but that's a catchable ball by Travis Benjamin. They got to start keeping their hands on these footballs and controlling them.
Bengals penalties, just trying to will the Browns to get on the board. 1st and 10. Fake to West. Pressure coming off his back foot throwing. He's got Gordon. Wide open is Gordon for a Browns first down to the 25 and shoved out there.
You know how we said in the open, you're not quite sure what you're going to get? Well, here's a great example. I mean, this kind of throw, not recommended in this league, but he has a lot of success on that opportunity. Johnny Manziel, the great improviser, getting it done.
Down to the 25, and everybody moves. This is some drive.
False start, number 72, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, and I think one thing that's important to note, Kevin, you got a rookie quarterback making his first start. Well, you got a complete rookie backfield. These are all rookies. Johnny Manziel, Terrence West, Crowell, Agnew, and oh yeah, your center, Ryan Seymour. He's a first-year player playing center for his second game this season. A lot of newness for this Cleveland Brown offense.
Let's see if we can have a play without a penalty. 1st and 10 from the 30, or 15, I should say. And that is a give up the gut to Taylor Gabriel, the wide receiver, and that should take us to the 2-minute warning as we wind on down. Cleveland looking in no hurry to get off a play. Just trying to get on the board and gain some momentum in a half that's been dominated by the Bengals, who are up 20-0. You can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. So the Bengals have dominated this entire half. They're up 20-0, but their penalties are just trying to will the Browns to score. 3 penalties on this drive, including an idiotic taunting penalty on Ray Maluga, because the drive would have been over if he didn't do that.
And remember, if you're the Browns now, you get points. Remember, they deferred to start the game. They get the ball back. Next thing you know, you have a ball game. And the Bengals had an opportunity to put this thing away. And they're trying to allow the Browns back into it with the foolish penalties.
And then to his credit, Maluga picked off a pass and returned it to the 25, but they were offsides. Now can the Browns take advantage? That's the big question. All kinds of communication. How can this happen out of a 2-minute warning?
Well, there's the rookie fullback.
9
we just told you about the rookie.
They have to take a timeout. Yeah, they got to take a timeout. That's brutal. 2-minute warning and you can't get the personnel on the field. Although they call a timeout, and we will as well. Johnny Manziel not thrilled about that. His team down 20. Well, the Browns have made some progress. They've had more 3 plays in this drive, and now can they score? 2nd and 13. Ball on the Cincinnati 28. 2 minutes to go in this first half. Back to throw. Back to run. Manziel makes a move inside the 20. And then mark him down at around the 19. So he's going to pick up about 9. It'll bring up a 3rd down and short.
And I think that was a design play. Quick pump, and let's see if we can go get something. They spread them out with the 4 wides. You see the quick pump, lineman downfield. That is a design play. Kyle Shanahan trying to take advantage of Johnny Manziel's mobility.
Manziel picks up 9 and a 3rd and 4. There's Shanahan, offensive coordinator for these Browns. Out of time. Stepping up, in trouble, gets away, slings it end zone in traffic, intercepted by Jones. Ill-advised throw, and Adam Jones picks it off.
Well, the ball is so precious in this league. When you have that football, you're protecting the hopes and dreams of your entire team. Johnny Manziel, careless to say the least, throwing this football up across the middle of the field. Easy interception for Pac-Man Jones. You throw it high, late, across the middle. Bad recipe for Johnny Manziel. And Pac-Man Jones takes advantage.
It turns out this is not College Station anymore. As the Bengals leaving some silly penalties, they overcome them on that drive, and their defense is making a statement.
Moving on the field of an interception and down at the 1-yard line is under further review.
So they will look at the turnover, as they do each and every one, seeing if he got out to the 1. I think it's a touchback. I don't think he got out. We'll come back. Hey, looking at this review, and John, you have to get the ball totally across the line.
Right knee down right there, and that ball's nowhere close to being completely across the line. So that will be a touchback and should be reversed.
It's unlike when you're going in for a touchdown where the ball just touches the line and it's a score. When you're getting it out, you have to get it across.
After reviewing the play, the intercepting player was down by contact, his knee was on the ground, and the ball was over the goal line, which makes it by rule a touchback. Cincinnati's ball at the 20-yard line.
And so Adam Jones has the Bengals' second interception of the day.
And here it is, Kevin. And watch Johnny Manziel, and this is something that he brings to the table. The ability to extend plays, but you have to be smart when you throw the football. And when you throw it high, late, across the middle, it will be intercepted in this league. He's learning that the hard way.
Now the Bengals with 2 timeouts left. Going to give it on the ground to Jeremy Hill, who gets out to the 25, and that puts him over 100 yards on the day in this first half.
Very impressive running by Jeremy Hill. But I think right now, if you were to give game balls, it's that offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals just really dominating the line of scrimmage.
You know, even though the Bengals had 2 timeouts and some time to try and get yourself in field goal position, I guess just the way their defense is playing so well, they're just going to be conservative here. Give it to Hill one more time. You're going to see a lot of that. We saw it on a penalty before from Lugo, which was not good at the time, but they overcome it on Jones, who does it on the sideline, which you don't get penalized for. And that will be the half here in Cleveland. What a performance by these Cincinnati Bengals, looking the part of a first-place team today. Offensively, doing it on the ground, and the defense has been tremendous. It's 20-0 Bengals here in Cleveland in a rough first half for the starting debut of Johnny Manziel. Just 4 of 9 for 22 yards and 2 interceptions. And Jeremy Hill for the Bengals on the ground, terrific. 16 carries, 103 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's the main story for this one as they try to keep their first-place lead in the AFC North. 20-0. It's Cincinnati over Cleveland. The Browns getting the ball when we start the third quarter. Dog Pound's been pretty quiet today, looking for something to cheer about. Browns will get the ball to start the third quarter. When we come back after this halftime show, what a job by the Bengals. Not the greatest of days for Johnny Manziel, not what he had hoped in his debut in this first half. All Cincinnati at the break from Cleveland. The Battle of Ohio has been one-sided so far. The foes to the south are the ones that are up 20-0. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Jeremy Hill, first Bengals rookie, 100-plus yards in the first half since '97. And Johnny Manziel has been shut down and hasn't done anything. Neither has really the entire Cleveland offense. And I think the one thing about this is we started off the broadcast talking about Manziel and his starting debut, the excitement, all of it. Bengals are playing like a first-place team today and a division winner.
Absolutely. This is the Bengals team. This is why they're 8-4-1. They're playing big-time football, and Johnny Manziel is learning that things are a little tougher at this level. We'll see how Kyle Shanahan attempts to get him going. And here's that first half that Johnny Manziel had as he approaches the field. He's finding that these bigger guys, they run fast. And when you look like you have green grass, not so fast. Wallace Gilberry gets him off the corner. Here's the first pick. Threw it late. There's the tip ball. But here's the most careless of them all. Throwing across the middle and throwing it high. You just can't do that. The ball is so important in this league. I think Kyle Shanahan needs to get him in a little rhythm. Quick passes, get him on the perimeter where he can use those skills.
So the Browns down 20-0. We'll start it off with the football on their own 20. Here's West. And he's going to run his way left side for nearly 4 yards. Let's go down to the sidelines with Pam.
Well, Kevin, I talked to Mike Pettin at the half, and he just said there's no substitute for game experience. You just can't mimic it. He said Manziel could use more help around him. He wants other guys to try to step up. I asked Marvin Lewis how he hopes to keep the Browns in this hole. He said we just got to play hard, put our heads down. He does expect the Browns to try to help Manziel by going with some play action and maybe some vertical passes. Back to you.
All right, Pam, we will see here. Looks like a little zone read, and that's going to go for maybe a loss. Miscommunication there. Now the Bengals are into giving that Johnny Manziel money sign. As long as you don't do it in his face, it's fine.
Well, Terrence West, we talked about that rookie backfield. Johnny Manziel goes to his left. Terrence West goes to his right. It looks like Terrence West is wrong because the lead blocker was going to the left. But playing with rookies, you're going to take your knocks, and they sure are.
Another third down. Four-man rush. Manziel goes down. And the Bengals get a sack. It is big Geno Atkins. And another 3-and-out forced by this Bengals D.
And that's how you do it, Geno Atkins. Look at him right here starting. He's going to beat. And Johnny Manziel just holds the ball. You got to get rid of the football and throw on time. And I like most about Geno Atkins. He made the sack. He got up, went back to his sideline.
It's been a statement from the Bengals so far. Spencer Lanning will punt it away. Here's Tate. He had a 30-yard return in the first half. Looking for a seam. Not much there. And the Bengals will take over inside their own 40. Manziel and Kyle Shanahan trying to figure it out. Bengals by 20.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Johnny Manziel has had a rude awakening to the NFL game. His first start today, played a couple series in the Buffalo game, didn't lead a touchdown drive there. I give some credit to these Bengals. They have really dominated on both lines of the football, especially the offensive line. And when you consider what happened the last time these two teams met, this has been a complete reversal. And this guy has been a big reason why. Jeremy Hill with another huge run all the way down the 42-yard line. It's a gain of 21.
Well, here's the play that they're running. They're having double pullers come around and just clearing the way. Andrew Whitworth out there. Look at that hole. I mean, that is immense. And this offensive line doing a tremendous job opening up those kind of holes, and Jeremy Hill taking advantage of it. Another stiff arm on Jim Leonard.
I asked Andy Dalton if he felt like this game was a revenge game. He said, well, we played about as poorly as we could last time, me in particular, but we're playing for the playoffs. Looking like it today. 1st and 10. Hill again. And just gets inside the 40, a short gain. So Jeremy Hill now at 18 carries, 126 yards. His season high this year against New Orleans, he had 27 carries for 152 yards, and he could break that today.
And we saw earlier as we introduced the impact players, he seems to be a guy 15-plus carries. That's kind of his threshold. When he gets a lot of carries, he wears on a defense. Extremely effective for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Now, though, they go with Bernard in the backfield. They'll change it up, give Hill a breather. Here comes Kruger. Dalton sees him. Can't get away from him in the sack by Paul Kruger. His 10th of the year.
Here's Kruger at the bottom of your screen. Watch him working against Bowling. Andy Dalton is held up, and so many of these sacks that the Cleveland Browns get, it's because of this bump coverage. It disrupts the timing, and he's looking downfield. No one's coming open, and guys like Kruger have great motors and just continue to come after Andy Dalton and bring him down.
Meanwhile, we showed you in the first half Joe Hayden going off. Pam had a report about his shoulder. He's not returning, the Browns tell us now. So, as if the score for the Browns wasn't bad enough, their best defensive player not coming back. 3rd and 13. Dalton just going to sling it, and almost had a completion there somehow to Tate, but it's out of bounds. And they will punt it away.
Well, it's Buster Screen who gets the tough task of trying to guard A.J. Green. Here's Pierre Desir, a rookie who's playing because K'Wan Williams was hurt last week as well. So they're deep in their cornerback depth, but not changing their style up in the faces of the Cincinnati receivers.
It's the first punt of the day by Cincinnati. It's Huber trying to drop it inside the 20. Leonard, fair catch at the 14, and that's where the Browns will take over. Bengals defense doing the job, 20-0.
Today's game is sponsored by The Interview, in theaters Christmas.
Aerial coverage provided by Nationwide this afternoon. Awesome shots up above. 20-0 Bengals. Browns have just 52 total yards on the day. Out of the pistol, they'll fake. Manziel looking, sees nothing, throws to Gordon, and that is incomplete. Ever since the Browns came back to Cleveland after the move in 1999, Manziel is now the 21st different starter. I mean, you got Tim Couch, first-round pick in '99. You got Brady Quinn, who's now working for Fox, doing a game today. Brandon Weed, another first-rounder. He's in Dallas backing up Tony Romo. And now it's Johnny Manziel. 21 starting quarterbacks. They haven't found one to really take them for a few years. And the question is Manziel the guy?
Well, they're so hopeful that he is. I was talking with Jimmy Haslam, the owner, down on the field, and they know that their hopes rise on someone playing well as he goes down again.
What a play by Brandon Thompson with one hand to sack Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, but don't put this on Manziel. I mean, this is domination at the line of scrimmage. We've talked about it throughout. And look at Thompson. He's going to be right here, and watch him just run through unimpeded. That's a hard play action. Manziel can't do anything there. And so if they want Johnny Manziel to succeed, they got to do a better job up front helping him.
Yeah, he certainly hasn't had that today. And unfortunately, when you get in these, 3rd and 19, pretty tough. They're 0 for 6 on 3rd down today. They're going to set it up, high throw to Crowell, and he's got it. And that is a tremendous play. Run down by Carlos Dunlap. Another punt for Cleveland.
And you watch the speed of Carlos Dunlap, and there's a lot of people in Cincinnati that want more out of him because you see what he's capable of. Watch this speed to run down Crowell. He did it earlier to Manziel. When you're capable of that kind of play, you got to bring it every week. He is capable of it, and they need to see more of that in Cincinnati.
5th 3 and out for the Browns as Lanning will punt it again. Brandon Tate calling a fair catch, does so in Browns territory. Cincinnati Bengals going for win number 9 and in control.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Game of War. Play free now.
Little look at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here in Cleveland. A nice job with the downtown area around here. It's a nice place. This stadium great right on the lake. Not great for the Browns is their result right now. It's all Bengals 20-0 in their ball to start on the 46 of Cleveland. There's Bernard who gets the carry. And Bernard still going out to the 42. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Boys and Girls Clubs help young people to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens through programs that promote character and leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and more. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. And Zell and Shanahan trying to figure out how to get something going on the sidelines.
George, you go there, you go there.
Second down. Bernard patiently just trying to find a hole in a 3rd and short.
Kevin, you talked about the downtown here in Cleveland. Such nice people, too. Contrary to the belief of my old coach, Sam Weiss. A lot of nice people here in Cleveland. But that's what makes this rivalry. It was fun seeing the folks from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
The folks from Cleveland, apparently they don't think too kindly of each other. But I got to tell you, a lot of nice folks here in Ohio.
A.J. Green had a big catch early, though, even though they haven't needed to throw to him on a 4th down and 4. Led to the Bengals touchdown earlier. They've used the running game. Here, 3rd and 3. Dalton coming near side, and there is A.J. Green wide open, and now a very late flag, and that may be on him. It was thrown so late, maybe a push off on Green. I think now that is the call.
Pass interference, number 18, offense.
And here it is. This is something that Marvin Lewis pointed out. They talked about with A.J. Green. When he gets booked, he has a tendency to want to push back. Well, everybody knows if they watch the NFL, they call it on the defense. They typically don't on the offense, but this year they have been. So A.J. Green, they were coaching him up. Don't push back. Run through the grabs, but you can't push back. And there they caught it.
Now moving back to a 3rd down and 13. And John, not only is Joe Hayden out, but I don't see Justin Gilbert, the rookie who started with the injury to Kayvon Williams either. So they're down 3 guys in their secondary. Cleveland now. Jordan Poyer, number 33, is playing the corner spot. He's a safety normally. 4-man rush. Dalton with time, steps up and throws over the middle. It's Hewitt, and Hewitt muscles his way near a 1st down. The mark critical, but he's close.
I think Hewitt's been outstanding as a lead blocker. Now he contributes as a receiver. Remember, Gresham out today with the toe injury. Ryan Hewitt's been outstanding in his place.
See, we're going to call for a measurement here. Yeah, the officials call time. Likely to bring out the chains. It's pretty close. And it is just 4th down. They will not measure. Oh, no, here they do come. All right. John, if they're short here, it's a long field goal. Do you just go?
Well, they had made their decision. They were sending their offense on to go for it. So I think that's what Marvin Lewis is intending. You're looking at about 54 yards on the field goal. Marvin Lewis wasn't hesitating to at least put his offense out there to try to draw him possibly. We'll see.
Bengals have 158 rushing yards, and they're averaging 6.3 a carry.
And I think that adds to that decision because you've been dominating that line of scrimmage so much. Let's just go push them around some more.
And so they'll go. They've converted their 4th down try earlier today. 4th and 1. Just a quarterback sneak, and Andy Dalton has it easily. And the Bengals again convert on 4th down.
Well, Dalton gets right behind his center, Bodine. And again, they win the line of scrimmage. And easy conversion for Andy Dalton and the Bengals.
You know, it's interesting. Since the Bengals lost that game to Cleveland 24-3, and people were obviously wondering about them. They've won 3 of 4. Now, granted, they had a horrible 4th quarter last week. First to play, on a fake. Dalton to throw it. Going deep, miscommunication, and Green cut in, and he threw it deep. And it's an incomplete pass. But they have won 3 of 4 since then, and look at the review here, but he said, Andy Dalton said, we've been practicing. We got back to practicing at a high tempo, and it's shown on the field.
And I think that's true. When you talk to Dalton, he said, look, we're at our best when we play with tempo. And sometimes that's a quick tempo, but it's controlling and dictating the tempo. And they got back to those basics. They feel like it's really affected their game in a positive way.
Hugh Jackson, first year as offensive coordinator after Jay Gruden left to take the Washington job. Give it to Hill. And Barkevius Mingo makes a stop after a few stops. What else is going on in this AFC North today? Well, here's what you got. Steelers up by 10 on the Falcons. How about the Jaguars? That would be an enormous loss to Baltimore in their playoff hopes.
From afar down there in Jacksonville, you see progress. Every week they're starting to hang in games a little bit more. Baltimore just flipped that score. Now it just went up 16-12. We see in our scoreboard up here.
All right, so there you go. Baltimore now up. So both teams are going against winning. 3rd down and 8. Dalton over the middle. He's got it to Bernard for a first down to the 20.
And that's something I think, Kevin, and maybe playing Jeremy Hill as their lead back can actually help them, because Bernard comes into the day with 28 catches, but not nearly the effect has he had on this offense as a receiver as he did last year. And I think it's such a weapon. He is a one-on-one matchup nightmare out of the backfield for linebackers. They've got to get back. A new offensive coordinator, Jay Gruden, is in Washington as the head coach. He was the offensive coordinator. He did a great job of utilizing that. That's one thing I see this offense can do better.
Hill back in the game now. We get a flag. I mean, Giovanni Bernard, for all intents and purposes, was Darren Sproles last year.
False start, number 18, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I mean, he had 56 catches. And I asked Andy Dalton about that yesterday. He said, hey, getting him more involved with the pass game. He said, well, we've got a new coordinator. Little things are different, but it looks like they're trying to get back to that today and get him those catches out of the backfield.
As I was mentioning, I think perhaps letting Jeremy Hill do the pounding and then bring him up for matchups, for different outside run plays, really trying to play to his skills would behoove the Cincinnati Bengals.
After the penalty, 1st and 15, Hill back in there. They'll pass. They're going to go deep, looking for A.J. Green, knocked away. Real good coverage by Buster Screen.
Well, A.J. Green presents a lot of challenges for cornerbacks. He's 6'4", but then he runs a 4.3. He can flat out run. He may have found one of the few guys in this league that's even faster in Buster Screen. That's one thing he can do, is run. The fastest guy on this Cleveland Browns team. Speed is not an issue, but a nice job playing the football as well by Screen.
And so a 2nd down and 15. Under 4 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Fake the swing to Hill, come back the other side. It's Hewitt. Why not a one-handed catch? Man, has he had a nice day. Blocking, one-handed grabs. He's doing it all. The rookie from Stanford.
I like the design. You fake the screen and the swing pass to the right. You come back with the screen with the one-hand grab by the Stanford guy getting downhill. Ryan Hewitt having a nice day.
Our director, Artie Kempner, was pointing out the tackle by one Jim Leonard. He's played very, very well.
Head up the Jim Leonard fan club, Artie Kempner is.
He's got the P.O. box. Done a nice job of the injury to Gibson. 3rd down, Bengals. They sling it out far side, and that one is not going to work to Kevin Brock, the backup tight end. Well, Week 15 continues later today on CBS and on Fox. And then tonight, Sunday Night Football on NBC. Monday Nighter, ESPN tomorrow, Saints-Bears. And there you go. As the Bengals will try to add to their lead. They've got Mike Nugent out. He's kicked 2 44-yarders today. This one from 34 yards. Nugent puts it through. He's 3 for 3 on field goals, and it ups the Bengals lead to 23-0. And so today, the Battle of Ohio has such deep roots, great history, great coaches, great players. But today, It's all Cincinnati in the post-Ickey Woods era. 51 plays for the Bengals, 28 for Cleveland. They've controlled this game from start to finish. An opening possession touchdown where they went down the field with the run game, 14 plays to score, and really I think that set the tone for the whole day, the way their offensive line played on that first drive.
There's no doubt about it. Both lines have been outstanding for the Cincinnati Bengals, and that's after a week in which they kind of got it taken to them late in the game, particularly against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Jeremy Hill almost has 100 more yards total of the entire Browns team. Jeremy Hill day. Sean Drawn back to receive. Browns will take it on their own 20. Jeremy Hill, what a day for the rookie. 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cincinnati up on Cleveland. They haven't had much to cheer about in Cleveland today because the Bengals have just been great on both sides of the ball. And Johnny Manziel's starting debut hasn't gone well for Cleveland. That's an understatement. 5 of 11, 28 yards, 2 interceptions. Trying to get something going. They'll try to do it on the ground with Terrence West with a couple of yards. Well, Saturday, the UFC returns to Fox Sports 1. All-time great Lyoto Machida battles C.B. Dalloway and more. The action starts 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. We met with Manziel yesterday, and he said something that just kind of stunned us. He said, I was reflecting a little bit this morning and thinking about 4 years ago, suiting up for the final time in my final high school game. Here, eluding pressure, throws it away. So 4 years ago, he was playing his final high school game, and I think in some ways you have to remember that. He's still green in a lot of areas.
A young kid, he's 22 years old, just turned that a week ago. And I think what we're seeing is it's not only him. He just ran around on that play, and not one receiver responded, did something for him. You see in Seattle those receivers, and in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers receivers, when he improvises, they start running around and find an open space. They don't know how to do that because they've been playing with Brian Hoyer. I think he can be a success in this league. It's hard to say that watching this today, but I think he's got some tools. I think they have to continue. He's going to have to learn to throw in the pocket. That's the one thing we know. To be successful at that position in this league, running has to be a secondary thing. You have to first be able to throw from the pocket within the structure of the offense.
They haven't had many 3rd and shorts either. I mean, they've been really putting themselves in a hole. They've only had 2 3rd down and shorts all game.
Ball start, number 62, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Let's go down the sidelines with Pam.
Well, Kevin, it's going according to script. I had a chance to talk to Carlos Dunlap, and Cincinnati sack leader was practically salivating at the chance to play against Manziel. Dunlap told me that he wanted to give him a rude awakening. He told me our defense just won't allow it. All those money signs, that Johnny football thing, squash that. He wanted to send him a message. This ain't college, it's the NFL. Back to you.
Pam, they have. It has gone according to the Bengals script, not the Browns. On another 3rd and long, Manziel fires, and he's got a completion to Gordon. Gordon breaks the tackle. Still going and still in bounds. And finally, a big play for this Browns offense as Manziel converts to Gordon all the way up to midfield.
Well, if Johnny Manziel wants to get going, this is a wise guy to be throwing to because he is electric at the wide receiver position. He missed 10 games earlier this year due to suspension. He's been rusty as a result, but that's some of the talent that Josh Gordon has. A nice throw by Johnny Manziel on the money to Josh Gordon.
And a 32-yard game, so the Browns pick it up. A minute 25 to go in the 3rd quarter, trailing 23-0. Fake the run, Gordon. They set it up and they have it blocked well, but we get a flag. As Gordon is going to be near a 1st down, but the penalty's coming multiple on the play. Been trying to get Gordon going ever since he came back.
Number 48, offense. Blocking downfield, 10-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Watch Agnew. Here he is on Leon Hall, blocking before Josh Gordon had caught the ball, and here comes that flag throw. This crew's arms, they're in shape. They throw a lot of them.
Eugene Hall firing that thing. And the penalty will move him on back, so a 1st and 20. Under a minute to go in the third. Fake the run, time for Manziel. Pumps, can't find anything. Thinking about running, going to take off. Why not? Gets a block, puts his head down, gets to midfield. Back to the original line of scrimmage. It's a gain of 10.
Well, when you watch him, if there's a recipe for success, Kevin, I don't think he should be studying Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. He should be studying one Russell Wilson in Seattle, because that's the closest guy that he mimics that has had success in this league. But Russell Wilson does. First of all, he's a grinder. He's a tireless worker. He throws the football well from the pocket and uses the run and the improvisational skills as if all else fails.
And here he's in trouble, and down he goes with the sack. It's Dunlap, who Pam was just talking about, and he delivers, and that will deliver us to the end of the third quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter.
Bengals pitching the shutout so far. They pick up another sack, and it's 23-0 after 3. The Battle of Ohio has been the Bengals all the way. Offense on the line, getting the running game going, and the defensively, they've just swarmed Johnny Manziel and the Browns in his first start. Paul Gunther in his first year. He's been on the staff 10 years, learning under Mike Zimmer, who of course got the chance to finally be a head coach in Minnesota. His group has done the job today after a rough fourth quarter against the Steelers. Third and long. Manziel fires back foot, and that's not going to get it done, as Gordon makes the catch. Actually, sorry, that's not Gordon, that's Hawkins. And a punt is coming once again.
And watch what Paul Gunther, he knows he's got a third and long, so what do? You get it out of the hand of the quarterback. They bring an all-out pressure. Johnny Manziel's right to get rid of the football. Then you better make the tackle, and that's exactly what the Cincinnati Bengals and Pac-Man Jones do. They've been playing at a very high level today after an awful performance against Pittsburgh last week.
And the Browns now have more punts than first downs.
Hello.
This is Brandon Tate. Fair catch called for Bengals football and their lead. It's been a rough day. The starting debut for Johnny Manziel hasn't gotten any help either. All Cincinnati with the shutout in the fourth. Saturday, an old rivalry gets renewed. Rakeem Christmas and Syracuse bring the fight back to the Big East when they face Javon Pinkston and the 7th-ranked Villanova Wildcats. Coverage begins Saturday at 12:30 Eastern. That's on Fox and also streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
It's really his name. You're not just saying that because of the time of year?
No, that's it. It's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I like it.
Andy Dalton and the Bengals have had a great day trying to finish up strong, up 23-0 on their in-state rivals, and looking to hold on to first place over those Steelers. How are they doing? Let's check in with Joe Klatt.
Yeah, Kev, the Steelers doing pretty good right now, taking care of business on the road. Le'Veon Bell from 13 yards out. He takes it in. He's had a tremendous stretch over the last 4 games. Steelers up 27-13. Half game back of the Bengals. Kevin, John, and Pam.
All right, Joel, so there you go. And here's what you're looking at in the North. The Browns with the loss would pretty much be eliminated, although not officially. And the Bengals would keep pace, first place with the Steelers hot on their tail. And this is really important for the Bengals for obvious reasons, but their next 2 games are as tough as it gets. Dalton going to sling it to Sanu on 2nd down. It's going to be 3rd down. I mean, the Bengals coming up, they've got the Broncos and finish up at Pittsburgh, which very well could be not only for the division, but to get in the playoffs. Who knows?
And you know, just to call a spade, that's what Cincinnati's problem's been. The big game, whether it be prime time, Monday night, Sunday night, or the playoffs. That's where they've run into problems. And so you've had some success. Now, can you get over another hump? You've got Denver coming to town next Monday. I'm really interested to see how they will respond, because they've been fantastic today.
Hey, don't go.
It'll be a 3rd down and 4. Going to hand off to Hill, and very patiently works his way across the 30. Jeremy Hill, have yourself a day. What a performance from him. They made him the #1 running back, and he has lived up to the hype.
And I think Hugh Jackson is taking a little, watch the 2 pullers. They're going to bring Sanu to seal the edge. But then the two pullers, and last week, if you watched, I think Pittsburgh is still running the counter OU where they had their two pullers. They ran it over and over and over, and oftentimes that's what happens in this league. Something gets done to you, you say, all right, that works pretty well. Let's try it next week. And Hugh Jackson has done exactly that.
I'd say it's worked well. Hill gets it again, and he fumbles the football, and the Bengals get it back. That might just be the sign that things are going your way. This is Hill's 22nd carry. Chris Kirksey forced the fumble, but the Bengals recovered it.
It's that ball. You carry it a little loose. People are going after that ball, but Clint Bowling on the spot. Bowling, who's moved over to that right tackle, originally was the left guard for the Bengals. He's gone over there as they lost Andre Smith. They tried Marshall Newhouse. It wasn't working out, so they moved Bowling over there, and he's played well.
Bernard in the game. They fake it to him. Dalton's going to roll. Some pressure. He's just going to run it and slide down. Now the question becomes this. When you look at Marvin Lewis, 11 years, and really everyone looks at the no playoffs, no playoff wins, as we get a flag on this play. He's made the playoffs 5 times. They've been in it 3 years in a row, but everyone says, well, he hasn't won a game. Well, they were in a moribund state, this franchise, when he took it over. I think the question becomes, as we wait for Walt Anderson's call, how good can they be? Can they actually make some noise?
Illegal formation from the offense. Number 73 was uncovered on the end of the line. Penalty has declined. It's 3rd down.
You know, Kevin, it's a good point, and I went through something similar in Tampa. Come on, Walt. I went through something similar in Tampa. Tony Dungy, the same thing. We were really becoming a good team. Every year we challenged for our division. We couldn't get over that hump. It was the Philadelphia Eagles for us. And sometimes you just got to do it to do it, you know, and that's in front of them. And you've got to eventually, it lost Tony Dungy his job in Tampa, and with John Gruden we win a Super Bowl. But Marvin Lewis and this team going to have to find a way to have success in that postseason.
They give it to Bernard on a 3rd down, and that'll be a punting situation. Well, yeah, I mean, they've been 3 straight playoff losses, first 2 to Houston, and yeah, it just hasn't gone well. Andy Dalton has really not played well in any of those games, and especially last year. I mean, look at his playoffs in those three last games. 56.2 rating, 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions. He had a big fumble against San Diego last year, and last year was more disappointing because they won the division. They were at home, and that's what they're looking to overcome. But these days in the NFL, as used to punts, a fair catch. You know, it really is about who gets hot. You know, it's not so much necessarily about home field and the bye. Who can get hot? Can the Bengals be that team? We'll see. They are that team today. Kosar and Chad Johnson and Ozzie Newsome. So many great players in this great rivalry, but it's been one-sided today. All Bengals. Johnny Manziel in his debut hasn't mustered much. Throw it over the middle to Crowell, and we have an injured Bengal. Vincent Ray, the linebacker, is the one who's down.
You see this coming. It's Ray Malaluga trying to finish off Crowell, who's going to hit his own teammate. Ooh, Vincent Ray down. Hopefully he's all right for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Today's game is sponsored by Walmart, where you'll find unbeatable prices on this year's top gifts.
Well, Vincent Ray got hit pretty hard by his own man, Ray Malaluga, helmet to helmet. At least he did walk off under his own power. 2nd down and 6, 23-0 Bengals over the 15, 67 yards and 2 interceptions. Over the middle, got a completion out at the 30. It's Hawkins against his former team. John, I want to take a moment to wish a happy 50th birthday to our boy Nick Franklin, lead tape operator. He's amazing. Couldn't do it without him.
Run.
And he's going on a trip to Singapore after the game.
Happy birthday, Nick.
And he'll be back in New Orleans next week. He'll actually be back in the States, what, in like 28 hours? He's got to get those airline miles. Jeff Smizik better hook our boy up. And Zell sprinting backwards, way back, floating into Crowell. That was dangerous. And incomplete. And another punt.
And that's what Johnny Manziel, Kevin, you're exactly right. You can't float balls high in this league and kind of lazily throw them as you're going backwards. They turn into interceptions. He's very fortunate that another ball, Devon Still is not a D lineman, is a linebacker. That ball is picked once again. You got to throw the ball with zip and authority on the line. Throwing back across your body, something you just can't do. Kyle Shanahan trying to teach that to his young protege.
And Marvin Lewis said that to us yesterday, too. He said, hey, we got to get him going backwards. When he scrambles, he'll go backwards. We can't let him step in and on the run throw. Bengals have done everything right. Except there. Tate drops, picks it up. Nearly jinxed him, but he recovers, and so do the Bengals, who are up 23-0 on their in-state rivals. Hey, it's the last week to vote for the 2015 Pro Bowl. Select the best players regardless of conference. Then Chris Carter and Michael Irvin will draft teams as alumni captains. Vote now at NFL.com/Pro Bowl ballot. Voting ends Monday night. How come you aren't an alumni captain, John? You were there 9 times.
Someday.
First and 10, Bengals, 23-0.
What we got? What we got?
They've held the Browns to 98 yards. It's literally the game they played in Cincinnati a month ago, reverse. What a day by this rookie who has already 250-yard games, and Jeremy Hill now at 139 yards. Well, I was asking you before, John, about the Bengals, and look, they got to win a playoff game before they can make some noise, but what has to happen for them to do that?
Well, to me, their formula is in the playoffs, their quarterback's got to play big. And how do you do that? I think you help them. And you help them by this run game that we're seeing today. If Jeremy Hill can continue, and this offensive line can continue to play like that, Andy Dalton plays better by virtue of that. And then you have A.J. Green and Sanu. You've got some good receivers. And then probably more importantly, their defense played well today, very well. You see the handoff right up the middle. But they played very well. Now, as I saw it on film, this has not been a good defense this year. Over 500 yards 3 times. This defense has been very leaky. Yeah. So you wonder, is it just that they're going against a rookie quarterback in his first start? If they can show staying power on defense, that they can improve as the season goes on, then they got a chance in the postseason.
Well, they've allowed 500 yards 3 times a game this year, and they got beat up pretty well by the good offensive teams, New England, Indianapolis. And so they've got to test, maybe next week, John tells us, they've got Denver next week. And maybe that'll really see where these Bengals are. It's been impressive today. Right now, they went out, they win the division, they get into the home playoff game. Still work to do. Hill breaking through. That's Bernard that time. Excuse me. Bernard stays in the game. And he's up for a first down out to the 32. So Gio Bernard has 49 yards. Jeremy Hill at 138 yards. All run game today.
Well, we talked about it earlier, thunder and lightning. Here's lightning. You see the quickness, and I think it's exacerbated. You see it when he's a complimentary, a change of pace back. And I think this is the right formula. I like what Marvin Lewis and Hugh Jackson are doing with this running back rotation, and you gotta love the way this offensive line has played. Now they have Clint Bowling back to his original left guard position with Eric Winston, the veteran, who they just signed at right tackle.
It's been impressive. 190 rushing yards, and add to that tally is Bernard for the alertness too. He's going to slide down, stay in bounds, let the clock run. It's 6:44 and counting.
Well, watch the double pull again. Both these guys going to get out and go, and watch Eric Winston seal off this. Eric Winston just signed. You've heard about him more as the NFLPA president, but doing a heck of a job pulling and sealing, and a smart play by Bernard staying in bounds and running clock.
This is the most that the Bengals have had all year, 205 rushing yards. They came in as a pretty good running team. But today they've been a phenomenal running team. Against a defense that's pretty good, they've made them look bad. As Bernard again. Well, talk about the Bengals. And John, on the flip side, you've got the Browns, who these last 2 weeks are disappointing. A tough loss to the Colts. They make the quarterback switch and getting blown out today. But I think when you look at it, we got 7 wins, and Mike Pettin in here trying to build something. I think a lot of people thought they'd win 3 games.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what most people prognosticated coming into this year. And sometimes you gotta You got to see the forest through the trees, and what I see is a lot of really good young players. The biggest question, and it still remains, is that guy right there. Is he going to be the future at quarterback? It's been so unstable at quarterback. They thought they might have the answer in Johnny Manziel. I think way too early to make a judgment in his first game, but that guy's got to come through for them to be successful.
And unfortunately, that last piece is the toughest piece, that quarterback, but you at least got the rest of the year to evaluate and see if you think he can be that guy. You know, Petty, we had really good chats with him the last couple of weeks. He was a real interesting guy, and what stood out, the relationship with his dad. There's his dad's record. He's a legendary coach in Pennsylvania, and the fun thing, you see at the bottom, 5-0 versus son. Well, Mike Pettin was a high school coach too, and he coached against his dad, and he had some fun saying, yeah, and like everybody else, I couldn't beat him either.
Yeah, he's got a lot of respect. He's consulted his dad the last couple of weeks on these tough calls because his dad is a legend, and he really, he's a part of this organization. It was funny. He said, nowadays everything is on these tablets, and his dad called when he has his tablet because he watches film on them, and he said, hey, Mike, my e-pad's not working. I can't get it going. Not the techiest of guys, but a heck of a coach.
And Jim O'Neill, one of two on Pettin's staff to play for his dad, as Bernard up to get for more running yards for the Bengals and another first down. As I think the potential for tempers to flare there. So if you are Cleveland, and this one is going to put a stake in your playoff chances, do you even watch this game on tape? Do you evaluate Johnny Manziel off of this? What can you learn if you do?
Yeah, one thing I learned in my experience in the league, you always watch it. I don't subscribe to that theory of you throw it away. You can learn from every situation, whether it's good or bad. And sometimes these type of games are the hardest to watch, but they're the ones you learn the most from. You got to coach them hard, as Bruce Arians says, and hug them later.
Bengals trying to run out the clock here. And that one's going to go nowhere. Kruger made the stop on Bernard. So it's a little different when you're watching things live and looking at the tape. How about this? Last three shutouts are all here in Cleveland. 89 was at Municipal Stadium. But in your evaluation, John, what have you learned about Johnny Manziel? Again, I get it. It's different when you look at the tape, but today.
Well, I think what we've learned, he's going to have to learn to play within the structure and confines, and then use the mobility as an asset. That if it's not there, then you go. But right now, his instinct is to go, go, go. And I think we've seen that over time with Robert Griffin III and Cam Newton. To have sustained success in this league, you have to be able to throw the football from the pocket. And that's still a question. I've seen him do it, and I've seen him do it well. He has the tools to do it well. He's got to show that he can in a live game.
He was an accurate passer at Texas A&M. He was a 68% completion percentage, and I get it. A lot of that was on the rollout, but he had good pocket numbers. Today, nerves, just a lot of high footballs from him today.
I think nerves, and part of the thing he brings with his persona, you get people gunning for you. I mean, you've seen the Bengals. They were tired of hearing about Johnny Manziel, and so he's going to get a lot of people's best shot. His persona, who he is, the celebrity quarterback, it engenders a response that isn't too kind from opponents.
Dalton on a third down. Going to roll out, trying to keep it going, and he does. Beautiful throw to A.J. Green, and that will keep the Bengals on moving. Another first down. That one to Green, who makes the catch, and it's a gain of 14.
Andy Dalton, the one thing everybody talks, and they really believe in the guy, his ability to bounce back. He'll have some bad throws, he'll have some bad games, but he's always had the ability in this league to bounce back, and he's done it so well in the last 4 games. Today hasn't been spectacular, but the run game has really carried him today.
I'm not saying he's at his resume yet, but in a way, is it that unlike Tony Romo? I mean, Romo ever had that snap in Seattle, and always had that mantra, well, can't win the big game. Well, A, you need help to win the big game, and B, Tony Romo's a pretty darn good quarterback, and I think in some ways similar.
I think that's a good analogy. One thing Andy Dalton has to stay away from the interceptions. That always seems to be his Achilles heel. Very good quarterback, but you just have to protect the football. Sure. Yeah, Kevin, when you look at Johnny Manziel and you say, what's the recipe for success? Here's the guy that I think, in the best case scenario, he kind of reminds me of. You see the Elway spin by both of them. Russell Wilson always eyes downfield. Johnny Manziel, eyes downfield, making plays. This is Johnny Manziel at his best. The zone read, he can be a weapon there, but he should really watch Russell Wilson. And here's the question for me, and we asked him. I was straight up with him. The best quarterbacks in this league, they're the hardest workers in the building. Johnny Manziel was this week, by all accounts. All year, he hasn't been. And I asked him, are you willing to do that? And he said, well, this week was a good start. He was stand up. I think he didn't argue that he hasn't been. He said, this was a good start, and we'll see from here. And I think that will go a long way in determining his success.
I think the one thing about it, which is interesting, it's been documented, as you said, about his, his work habits and all the other stuff that we know goes with him. But you get the feel. You've talked to a lot of people. We were being around the, the team. It's been a good team, and he said himself, sitting out and watching Brian Hoyer has been a good thing for me. So he, I think, has been very coachable.
Yeah, he understood that probably was the best thing for him. Now, can he grow from those experiences? Can he do it on the field? He's going to have the opportunity the rest of this year, provided he stays healthy. And we'll see if he can get it done.
He and Brian Hoyer there trying to have a light moment in what's been a terrible day. The Bengals just working this clock down on the 2-minute warning. This is Hill. What a day for Jeremy Hill. He's got another first down. He's inside the 15-yard line. That is his 25th carry for 149 yards for the Bengals rookie. And it's Cincinnati up 23 with 2 minutes to go. Aerial coverage today provided by Nationwide here in Cleveland, where the Bengals have been in complete control, looking up their record of 9-4-1 and continue in first place on the way to another division title with a tough 2 weeks ahead. 2 minutes to go. He's looking to run this out. Rex Burkhead is in the game out of Nebraska. He gets his first carry today, second-year man.
I think, Kevin, you've got to congratulate, and really Marvin Lewis did a heck of a job getting his guys ready. A tough loss against a division opponent in Pittsburgh. A lot of distractions with Johnny Manziel. Everybody, and we could tell in his production meeting with him, he was a little irritated. What makes Johnny Manziel so special? And he kind of said, well, he was special in college. Let's see. Let's just give it time in the NFL. So they were poised and ready to go. He did a great job having his team ready. Marvin Lewis doing great things in Cincinnati.
Burkhead remains in the game. And he's going to get the carry. Burkhead is actually a neat sort. You remember that it was a YouTube clip that went viral. He brought I believe it was a Make-A-Wish kid to a practice at Nebraska, and they ran a play in the spring game, and he scored a touchdown. It was a tremendous moment. Burkhead's the one that engineered that. Meanwhile, we've got bonus coverage coming up next. The Bills surprising the Packers. That would be a big one for Green Bay as they try for home field advantage. Green Bay has the ball, though, and there's plenty of time left. Today's game being produced by Pete Macheska, directed by Artie Kentner, Associate Director Eric Mandia, Broadcast Associate Tyler Dare, Technical Producers Clyde Taylor, and the Technical Director Tom Maslak. Pre-game show produced by Bill Richards and directed by Stephanie Medina. As the Bengals give it to Burkhead again, and he's fighting his way, looking for the end zone. He gets there. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Put the cherry on top.
It's nice for Rex Burkhead. I think his first touchdown, and you said it right. The cherry on top. They've dominated the line of scrimmage all day. They've run right through this Cleveland defense, and to finish the game like that, that's a job well done by the Cincinnati Bengals.
245 rushing yards for the Bengals today. Wow. Just showed Andy Dalton when you throw for 117 yards because you don't have to throw. No better feeling than that.
Peyton Manning's been figuring that out of late as they've
That's funny, right?
found a running game in Denver. And Peyton Manning didn't forget how to throw. They know that you need that for a playoff run. You better have that other element.
By the way, John Elway knows that too.
Yes, he does.
Despite all of his magic, they got that late in his career when he won a couple of Super Bowls with Terrell Davis. Remember, coming up, America's Game of the Week, 49ers really their last gasp here. They need it to stay alive against the Seahawks or the Vikings and the Lions. And there's so much intrigue now with this playoffs. Who's going to get in the seeding in the NFC too? Packers, if they lose today, Cardinals are really in good position with get that home field advantage. But Seattle already beating them. If they can win today, they go to Arizona next week. That makes sense?
Yes, it does. And the one thing I would say, 8 minutes and 15 seconds, down 19-10, the Green Bay Packers. You got Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
That game's far from over.
A lot of time left. Meanwhile, in this AFC North, Pittsburgh has the ball up 7 on Atlanta. 2 minutes to go there. And the Ravens trying to hang on to a 17-12 lead over Jacksonville. So those games may come down to the wire. We know this. The Bengals will be in first place after today. Sean Drawn. And he's tackled at the 22. From Kelly Clarkson to Carrie Underwood and Philip Phillips, American Idol has transformed unknowns into superstars. It's all about to begin again. American Idol, Superstars Made Here, premieres Wednesday, January 7th on Fox. That's John Lynch's show.
I'm fired up for that. I got a chance to go up and meet Jennifer and Keith and all those guys. Harry last year, they were all awesome. Great talent on that show.
Thanks for the invite, man. Jeez. Browns have 98 total yards this year.
200.
That's the lowest in the NFL. They make it over 100 here with a couple seconds ago. Benjamin has it with 12 seconds to go, and that may put a wrap on this one from Cleveland. Biggest shutout win for the Bengals since 2006 here in Cleveland. It was dominating today, and it wasn't a question from the get-go. 30-0 Cincinnati as they run for 245 yards, and the Bengals remain in first place. Now we send it back to L.A. Kurt Menefee and the fellas get you caught up on what's going on around the league.